All right. Hey there, and welcome to today's episode where I want to talk about control. And I want to talk about why we feel the need to control, where control comes from, and really, if you find yourself wanting to control a lot of things, what that is really saying about your belief systems inside. And so, before we dive in, if you don't know me, my name is Matt, and I just want to welcome you to the show. If you are looking for help on your journey to recovery from OCD and anxiety, I have some links that I've put down in the notes for you to check out, or you can head over to restoredminds.com. And also, if you are benefiting from the show, please help us out by liking, subscribing, and leaving a nice review. I know a lot of you that are listening or viewing have not subscribed, and it just takes a second, and it really does help with the analytics of the show and getting the algorithm, and getting this to more people. So, with that said, let's talk about control. So, control, when we want to control something, that almost always comes from a place of fear. Because when you think about it, when you trust something and you have faith in it, you don't try to control it. Think about, like, if we extrapolate this into, like, say, a relationship. If a person feels that they need to control their spouse, and they say, well, I need to check your phone and I need to know exactly where you are at all times. I need to look through, all your messages. I need to, look at your bank statements. I need to, I need to do all these things and ultimately dictate and control your every move or who you're hanging out with and all of this stuff. Well, obviously that's communicating to the person that deep down underneath all this, it's telling you I'm doing this. And so this is what a lot of people do. They'll say they're doing it from one place and either gaslight the person or themselves, right? So just be completely unaware of what's really going on. Anytime anyone's doing any kind of controlling aspect like that in a relationship, deep down there's, again, an insecurity or a feeling of I'm not safe, which is, again, fear, right? We know this. It's so obvious when you see it in anyone else's life. But what we often are unaware of is our own life, right? What is control really showing that we believe? Because when you're wanting to control something, it's in almost any sense coming from this place of fear and I don't trust. So, I was thinking about kind of the, like, with scrupulosity, right? Scrupulosity is a great example. So this is when fear, OCD, anxiety really latches on to the idea of God, one's salvation, damnation, right? And really that one's relationship with God or the divine. And I can speak into this personally. So we'll use this as an example today. And let's talk about, again, so, one of the most challenging conversations that I often have with people is, someone's dealing with scrupulosity and they tell me how important their faith is, right? So they hide in the idea of my faith is really important to me. And so they do these things that externally look like they're practicing their faith, but underneath it are really all rooted in fear. And faith is in some ways synonymous with the idea of trust. And so when you talk about one's faith in God, you're often referring to your trust in God. And trust is not what you do. Trust is how you feel energetically and internally, emotionally, right? That's what trust really is. And so because I trust my wife, I don't feel any need to control any aspect of her life. My wife and both me and my wife know, like, anytime you want to look at my phone, go ahead. Because I got nothing to hide, number one. But she's never done that, and I've never done that to her. We just know that we have that arrangement and agreement. Like, if you ever wanted to, I'm happy to share with you because I don't have anything to hide from you. But I trust her, so I don't ever go check or ask to check or anything like that. Because at deep down, I trust, right? I don't tell her I trust her and then go do all these controlling things because that sends mixed messages, right? What you do communicates what you really feel, what you really believe. Okay? Controlling aspects, any controlling behavior indicates a lack of trust, an insecurity, a fear. I'm not safe. So coming back to the scrupulosity narrative, right? when someone is doing all these things in the name of I'm practicing my faith, but their secret intention is to control God's perspective of them or what God thinks of them or their relationship with God or their salvation or whether they're going to go to heaven or hell, right? It's all done from this place of distrust. That's the irony of something like scrupulosity is the person will tell me or tell people in their life that I do this because my faith or because of my trust, right? I do my extreme prayer rituals, or I have to, confess this many things again and again and again. I have to do this. I have to pay this amount of money. I have to, because I need to, anytime you're hearing this, I have to, I need to, it's not done from a place of want and trust and love. It's done from a place of insecurity, fear, and distrust. And if one can't be honest with themselves or one is unaware of why they're doing something, that distrust, that fear is going to fuel. And this is what scrupulosity really is really, it's not actually about someone's faith. It's actually about their lack of faith in many ways. Because what's being done is not being done from a place of a relationship, love, trust, intention. It's being done from insecurity, fear, distrust, and control. Control tells you where someone's coming from. And this is what real inner work and real inner healing is about understanding yourself. What is my underlying narrative here? Am I operating from a place of security and trust? Because that's what faith is. Faith is trusting, right? It is a state. It's not I don't do things and say that I'm doing them from trust and faith. It's like an actual feeling state. It's an actual operating state, I should say, is a better way to say it. One doesn't do, quote unquote, like the religious behaviors. If someone's doing them from a place of trust, they're done from a completely different place than if one's doing it from a place of distrust, fear, and control. Same thing can be happening, two different things. And that's why I think it's so interesting when you look at the Bible, how much the heart is referred to. How, it talks, a lot about God understanding the heart of an individual. And obviously, I don't really believe that it's talking about the physical organ. I think it's what it's talking about is, again, that state referencing right there. And when you understand fear is an emotional field, an energy field that you can operate from, that you can also transcend and actually learn to get into trust, get into higher states of love, of peace, of trust, of security. That's what inner work is about. It's about doing the work where you are operating from that place and you bring that place into everything, bring that state into everything that you do. That's the difference. And so it's not the theme, it's not the behaviors, it's not all that stuff is all an external projection. And what we really want to do when it comes to transformation and healing and all this stuff is really understand this in here, right? Where am I coming from? What are the beliefs that are driving me? Why am I really doing what I'm doing? And not lie to myself or others. Because if we can't just be honest and really be honest with ourselves about like where we are operating from, we're never going to change. We're just going to defend everything and tell ourselves and other people that, well, this is why I'm doing this. When really, if we can't just be honest, it's like, I do this out of fear. You can't ever address it and you can't ever transcend it and heal from it because you won't acknowledge that that's what's really happening. So control, anytime we're wanting to control things, and this comes back down to a lot of people, they try to control their treatment. They try to control their intervention. I see it all the time. Oh, that's great. I understand you do this, but I only want to do this. Okay. Like in the moment someone says that to me, it's like, oh, I guess it's not the right program for you. Not because I'm trying to be mean, but it's like, if you knew the way, like you wouldn't be dealing with what you're dealing with. Right. And when you're trying to control the way that something's being integrated, even though like there are proven ways in which it does, we know work. And when someone's trying to control it and go an opposite way, it's like it's already not going to work out well. So anytime someone's trying to control, I think that's just important to understand that that comes from fear. And if that's where you are in your own life, and you really have to be able to assess that and acknowledge that like honestly, because that's the only way that you're ever going to begin to start to change and move in the direction you want to move. So with that, hope that was helpful. Wishing you a great day and a great week, and looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. Hey there, thanks so much for watching that episode. If you found it helpful, we have some links to some other episodes that we think you might like as well. And if you're looking for help on your journey to recovery from fear, stress, and anxiety, either check out the links in the notes or head over to restoredminds.com. Thank you, and talk to you soon.